Thank you, Corey. I appreciate you. Well, look, good afternoon to our Moaa family. I'm so glad that everybody could make it here on the final day of our symposium. The theme for today is balance. We've had a very challenging year, more so than most of us can remember, both personally and professionally. But we made it through, and that's the most important part, and we should be grateful for that. So, working with the Moaa Symposium Committee, what they decided we should do for today was have a little bit of fun and some laughter. And so, what I'd like to do, I'm going to read this next part so I don't mess up the intro of our next guest. But I'd like to introduce to you superhero by day, comedian by night, Mr. Corey Manning. Corey has been infusing laughter and learning for schools, organizations, colleges, clubs, family reunions, and national TV audiences for over 20 years. By day, he's the director of the Mentoring and Youth Build USA, where he facilitates interactive comedy-rich workshops for mentees, mentors, and staff. He's even developed a comedy curriculum for the Boston public school system to help teachers learn how to use comedy in their teaching to encourage learning. He's performed and toured with some of the best, and we know them: Monique, Bill Bellamy, Eddie Griffin, and he regularly headlines at local Boston comedy clubs. His goal is to save the world one smile at a time. And I've had a chance to spend some time with this gentleman, and I think we're really going to like him today. So without any further ado, please give a warm virtual welcome to Mr. Corey Manning.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for the hand claps. That's great. I want to thank all the people who do not have their video on for recognizing how unattractive you are and deciding not to turn it on. Just want us to see your names. So we could tell by your names how you look. Either one, you're visually challenged, or your house is dirty as hell. That's that's the only reason why I can think y'all would not have your video on. So I'm gonna encourage you right now to turn your video on. Thank you, Danielle. She out in the streets. That's why she didn't want nobody to know what she was. It's all good. So I'm gonna see if some more people can turn their video on. Otherwise, I'm gonna go through and make up something about your name, Maddie. Maddie. Thanks, Cecilia. Miss Taylor, thanks for coming in. My name is Corey Manning. I'm here today to talk to you guys about my experience with Moaa. I had a great time conducting. I don't even know what to call it, man. Let me just tell you straight out. Let me just cut to the chase. So Renee reached out to me and asked me to do this, and I was like, yeah, I can do it, but in order for me to do it well, I need to talk to a few people from Moaa so I can get a clear understanding of, one, what Moaa is, because when you first told me called it Moaa, I thought she wanted me to do some type of presentation on the Disney movie, but that's Moana. So I figured that out. So we cleared that up. But I also wanted to get a sense of what the people at Moaa are like, and also how far I could go with my material. I have performed for clubs, colleges, kids, churches, and such, but I'm regularly known for doing some very, how should I put it? And I just use entertaining for the word, for the comedy style that I usually do. But in my conversations with the people from Moaa, it was more like a master's class. You guys have some very smart people. Most of them, except for one person, I'm not gonna call their name out. Most of them are very intelligent, and I learned a lot. So thank you guys for doing that. Before we get started, I'm gonna ask a favor. If you guys could simply, if you see the picture, let me share my screen. Let me just share my screen so you guys can see this. Are you seeing the screen? Are you seeing the slide? Did I do it correctly, Julie? Because I messed it up in the prep.
Yeah, go on up to the display settings up at the top.
There we go.
Yep.
Swap. Bam. Okay. So if you guys could type in the chat box and let me know what this image is, where this image comes from that you see in the background that I've doctored up. If anybody could tell me where this image is from, just type it in the chat box. Just want to see how smart you are and to make sure I'm talking to the right group. because if you are the right group, you definitely will recognize this. I'm gonna give a few minutes to see what you say. Then I'm gonna come back. So in the chat box, tell me where this is from, this image. All right. Okay, good times. That's right. You got it. Okay. For those that don't know, this image, Archibald Motley. Michael, what in the world are you talking about? You got to school me on that, my brother. But this picture is from Good Times. For those that don't know, Good Times is a story about this family that grew up in the projects of Chicago. And the oldest son, JJ, was a painter. And one of the images they highlighted at the beginning of Good Times was this picture, this image you see right here. This picture is actually a rendering from Ernie Barnes. This drawing painting is called the Sugar Shack. And it actually has a lot of significance to me for a couple of reasons. One, Ernie Barnes went to a HBCU. He went to North Carolina Central University. Not only did he go to North Carolina Central University, but this image was inspired by him attending one of the events in Durham, North Carolina, where this took place, where North Carolina Central is located. This is at the Durham Civic Center. Back in the 60s and early 70s, Black performers could only perform in the Durham Civic Center. They could not come to the Carolina Theater, the main hub that's in Durham, and that's both venues still stand today. Why is this significant for me? This is my hometown, and I'm a graduate and alum of North Carolina Central University. I know a lot of you out here, most of you out here went to a college or somewhere like that, and I applaud you, much respect. And I know some of you even went to a HBCU, big ups to that. But if you did not go to North Carolina Central University, I truly question your education. That's all I'm saying. But that being said, I want to say we talked about balance and everything, and 2020, as you know, was a very, very trying year for not only for me, but for you and for the people in the people across the country. It was actually one of the worst respiratory pandemics across the board. And when I say pandemic, I'm not talking about the coronavirus. I'm talking about driving while Black, breathing while Black, and sleeping while Black. And that's one of the reasons why I actually took time away from work, and I was happy about the coronavirus because it gave me time to rethink and relaunch myself. And people always want to talk about the negatives and the positives of COVID. So let me dip into that a little bit. Let's talk about the negative thing about COVID. Social distancing was hard for me because I'm a hugger. I love to hug. I was raised off of hugs. I've been told that I'm one of the best huggers that people have ever hugged. The other negative thing about COVID-19, which goes into hugging, is that I haven't seen my family, and I'm so sure some of you are in the same boat. I haven't had a chance to see my family in over a year. The other negative thing about COVID-19 is I have seen my wife's family every day over the past year. Don't get me wrong, I love my wife's family, but not every day. So let me drop that and let me get to the positive sides. The positive side in relation to what I just said is that unfortunately my whole house came down with COVID-19. We were all diagnosed. Everybody was fine. I was probably the sickest. My wife says it's because I'm a baby. I say it's because everybody was coughing on me. But the good thing about it, the good thing about everybody having COVID, none of her family came over for 2 weeks. Now, you didn't hear that from me, but it was beautiful. The other thing about COVID, I don't know if y'all did this, but I actually called my bank and told them I got the coronavirus. I called my car loan and told them I got the coronavirus. I even called Massage Envy, who I'm 3 months behind on, and told them that I had the coronavirus. And so within that time frame and with those phone calls, as well as the other, I actually was able to rebuild my credit. Thank you for coronavirus. I really, truly appreciate you. The other thing the coronavirus taught me or enabled me was wearing masks. I don't know if some of y'all are wearing masks now or not, but I actually had to wear a mask, and I actually went from not being able to find a mask, not liking to wear a mask, to actually trying to make a fashion statement by putting on a mask. And women, especially my black and brown sisters, are so talented with their mask games. I've never in my life until the coronavirus have seen a Louis Vuitton face mask. I don't understand. I've seen a Gucci face mask. I've seen baby fat mask. It was a woman who had fat cheeks. She had baby fat mask. It was just incredible. Some women had the mask that matched their hair. It was crazy. The other thing that was crazy for women, and some of y'all, I know none of y'all experienced this, but for men too, is that because they couldn't get to their barber or stylist, we really began to see how old people really are. I'm just saying. And now the other thing I hate about wearing a mask is every time I put a mask on before I go in the store, I felt like I was going in there to rob the place. And especially during this whole during the Black Lives Matter and everything else was going on, this is not really a time a black man should be walking around wearing a mask. You know what I mean? Like it was suspect to me, but I had to deal with it. I also discovered that my breath stinks. I know some of y'all may not be comfortable with that kind of information, but when you have a mask on, the one thing you will smell is your breath. And now I understand why people kept offering me bubble gum and Tic Tacs and peppermint. Here, this whole time I thought they was just being generous. I come to find out I got halitosis. So I had to correct that. So now I try to brush at least 3 times a day and mix a little Lysol with my breath mints. Thank you, Kiki, for laughing at my pain. See, that's how they do you. That's how people do you. But it's all good. The other thing that I figured out is that there's a reason and a season for everything. A reason and a season. I know y'all done heard that before. A reason and a season. There's a reason for the coronavirus. The reason is that there needed to be a season for ugly people. Y'all don't hear me. There's a reason and a season for everything. The reason for the coronavirus is to give a season to ugly people, because over the past 15 months, if you ugly, you could have been wearing a mask. You could have been wearing a mask. You should have took full advantage of this whole time where masks were required and take full advantage to lock somebody down. You could have kept that mask on and showed that person that although you might not be able to see the beauty on my outside, here's the beauty that I have inside. Can I get an amen? Go on and tap it in the chat box. Some of y'all know somebody right now that need to wear a mask. You know somebody. It's some people on this little chat thing that should be having a mask on. Daryl, Maddie, Kanandu. Did I say your name right? I'm just saying it because y'all screen ain't on, so I'm assuming that y'all are in need of a mask. In need of a mask. And we're gonna gather some funds together for the mask needers, and we're gonna do a collection. I'm gonna pass the plate around, and we're gonna raise money to get these ugly people some masks. In the name of Jesus, all eyes closed and head bowed. Oh, this is hilarious. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah, so I do want to say that, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Corey Manning, comedian by night, superhero by day. I have, let me see, I have 3 kids. Actually, I have 3 and a possible. Yo, I tell that joke all the time in Boston. They don't get it because they didn't ever play spades. Like you can't, white people, except for Jason and Julie, white people don't know about spades. Like that's the whole game. And now with this whole council culture, I don't think they feel good coming to a black person talking about, so you want to play some spades? that's not that's okay. But oh, I'm in so much trouble right now. I hope this is being recorded. It don't matter. It's too late. Let me share my screen again. Y'all bear with me for a second. I want to share my screen. I got some images to go along with my presentation. Julie, I'm gonna need your help again to make sure that I'm showing this correctly. Hold on a second. Okay. Julie, we good? Do I need to switch it again?
Nope, you're good.
All right, awesome. So so yeah, this actual picture is from the last family trip that we took. We went to Disney World, and as you can see here, my wife is in there. My son, the oldest son, who's 23, and then my daughter, she's 8, and then I have a son who's 4 now. Yeah, I messed up. I was done. Son is a grown man, and I decided I needed to start over again. Actually, I didn't decide I need to start over. Let me explain. Renee told me I need to keep this clean. So let me figure out. Since you guys are, athletically inclined and knowledgeable, I use that. Let me just say that I messed up because I can't stay in the pocket as long as I used to be able to. I can't wait for a deep pass. I got to do short outs. That's it. Or either pass it to the running back. So that's where I was. So again, just to let you know, I have a 23-year-old son from a previous marriage, and then I also have an 8-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son from a future divorce. Let me explain. Y'all getting upset. Let me stop the video because I want to see y'all face. Y'all getting upset. Stop it. Kiki, stop laughing. I'm gonna explain. Carol, I see you covering your face too. Leave it alone. Angel, stop it. You supposed your name, you are Angel. You're supposed to be an angel. You up here laughing at my pain. Y'all don't understand. I'm trying to look out. This is what I found out. I did research, and 50% of marriages end in divorce. One of the things that went up during this whole pandemic is couples counseling, because people like I did realize that I don't like the people that I love. I love them. I just don't like them. I'm just keeping it 100. That's why you need to go to work. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Don't tell me I bought a shovel, an axe, and a punching bag. No, because we got a fire pit. I was making a fire pit. That's all it was. Now the punching bag is for what it is. Like, I'm in the best shape of my life almost. But so 50% of marriages end in divorce. But here's the kicker. The other 50% end in death. In order for your marriage to work, one of you got to go. So my thought is, I can divorce my wife, and then she can go and live a long, healthy, and happy life. And then if I choose to, I can remarry and start the process all over again. Hakuna Matata. It's the circle. 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 of wife. See, y'all thought I would see? That's what I'm talking about. See, you think about it. You got to think about it there. The other thing I found out during the pandemic that I didn't know or realized about my family, I didn't find out, but it became real to me, is that my wife is a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah. I mean, I knew she was a Jehovah's Witness, but I didn't know she was real. I didn't know she was 100 about it. Like she witnessing, like she witnessing. And during the pandemic, y'all, another thing to be happy about COVID-19 is Jehovah's Witnesses weren't knocking on any doors. No, they weren't. None of y'all, some of y'all ain't seen a witness at your door in over a year. I seen a witness at my door every day. Every day. My wife trying to keep her game up, so she knocking on doors in the house just to get her practice in. Now, again, I knew she was a Jehovah's Witness, but I didn't kind of realize that when we were dating. But when I think about it, I look back on our relationship, I do realize that she always had, I guess I would call it a distinctive knock. Like when she knocked at my door, I always knew it was her. It was like she had been knocking on doors for years. It was like she was a professional knocker. This woman had knock knuckles. No matter what day it was, no matter what time it might be, whenever she knocked at my door, it always felt like it was a Saturday morning. When she knocked at my door, I would literally go, "Hey, everybody, shh, be quiet. Turn off the lights." let me stop. But I love my wife. All right. How you guys doing? We doing okay? All right, cool. I haven't offended anybody except my wife, perhaps, and she's not here, so we good. I she's switching careers to be a professional knocker. Hot mess. I don't know who that is, but you need Jesus. Matter of fact, you should talk to my wife, because my wife know the Lord by name. You know you in with God when you know his real name. How many of y'all can say y'all know God's real name? A Jehovah's Witness can. I got one more slide to show you guys, and then a couple more. This has been a lot of fun. I gotta say, this has been a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I want to thank everybody for doing this. And before I switch to the slide, I gotta say one thing. I blame Renee for this, but because of Renee, I've read almost 2 books. I worked out just about every morning, and that's because of the conversation I had with Mr. Scott. And I also learned a lot about myself, and I found out that I got a brother in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina, Mr. Marcus Manning. So we good. I asked Marcus who he wanted to have dinner with. I don't even want to tell y'all what this man said, but it was crazy. But then the other question I asked everybody is what was their favorite breakfast, and everybody was really helpful with it. But one person told me that they have cottage cheese. That's nasty. But I told the person that they said, no, it's not. You gotta try it. You gotta trust it. It's healthy. It's good for you. You can try it. So I said, I'll try it. I didn't try it. I'm gonna just let you know that's something I did not try. However, because I'm here at Moaa, I'm hanging out with Moaa today. I got me some cottage cheese right here. I got some, and I'm about to try it right with y'all. And I want y'all to see the expression on my face so I can cuss their ass out. Excuse me, I can cuss them out if it don't taste good. I apologize, Renee. I sleep for it. You can edit that out. We can edit that out, right? You can edit that. And yeah, so we're gonna try this. They said eat it with fruit. So So here we go. Y'all pray for me. Here we go. What in the hell? Oh my God. I'd rather have some cold chitlins than to eat. Oh my God. I'm just gonna have to go. I'm just gonna have to tell my doctor I'm gonna die because I can't. If this is what you need to live, the aftertaste, like, oh my God. Okay. All right. It's out. I can't spit it out because I ain't got nowhere to spit, and I don't want it on my floor because something might grow from it. But I'm gonna do these last couple of slides, and then I'm gonna get up out of here and let y'all do y'all thing. I know y'all got an after party. I know it's an after party. DJ Renee in the building. I heard Renee be playing gospel music and lap dance songs during Symposium. So I'm gonna let y'all get back to that because I don't know what's on her mind. We good, Julie?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, here we go. All right, so I did that. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so let me. I got to stop for a second. Hold on a second. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should be able to share that. Is it okay if I share that video? It's unofficial. What the hell? I'm gonna share it. So I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but y'all got celebrities at Moaa. Y'all got the twerk team at Moaa. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a clip from the twerk team, and this dance routine was choreographed by Jude.
They changed the display option.
I changed. There we go. Thank you. Here we go. Get it, get it. Go twerk team. Go twerk team.
It should be a dance party.
Who is this in this picture? Somebody come off of mute and describe the two women in this picture. Who is this?
First of all, I'm just gonna take the L, Corey. That's me, and no shame because I was living my best life, and that was a great event for a great cause, and I would do it again.
Okay, twerk team. She was getting her to work and to work. Who's the young lady that's with you? You don't even know. You don't even know.
She's a reporter. She recently I don't want to say she quit. Dr. Barnes will know she didn't quit her job, but she was a local reporter in New Orleans.
Yeah, she's got a new assignment. Actually, I think in Charlotte. Like that's where she's going. She's got she'll be maybe a weather person or something there.
So what you're saying, this video drop went viral and she lost her job because of it? You know what you're saying? That's
not what had happened.
That's what had happened. Go ahead.
She got a promotion, bro. She got a promotion.
Oh, she went from the strip club to the gentleman's club. Okay, moving on. You guys may not have heard this, but there's a new movie coming out. This is the Bursar's Office 2. It's a pickup, a continued story of a young man who graduated from his undergrad magna cum laude and goes on to earn multiple degrees, majors, minors, and master. After that, he goes on to be the first person in history to pay his tuition regularly in cash. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, coming to a theater near you. Bursar's Office 2, Make It Rain, starring Dr. Edward Scott, PhD. Go ahead. Make it.
I'm so mad at you.
And also from the same people who brought you Bursar's Office 2, Make It Rain. And To Work Team, the documentary, brings you the full-length action-packed movie that centers around the main character, Dr. Black Don't Crack. After retiring from a leadership position at Moaa, her friends, Dr. Nene and Commissioner Curtis Cheese, plan a road trip to celebrate their lifelong friendship. But they get more than they expected when they invite their friend, Dr. Set It Off, who detours the group on an off-the-road and off-the-chain adventure filled with hijinks. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Moaa Set It Off. Dr. Black Don't Crack, Dr. Set It Off, Dr. Whip It Nene, and Commissioner Cottage Cheese, coming soon to a theater near you. Actually, it's going straight to video, but it don't matter.
I'm so mad at you right now. So for those of you who don't know, everyone that he just roasted had to meet with him for about 15 minutes to discuss Moaa. And so he's asking us all kinds of questions to figure out how he was just going to roast us like that. So, oh, man.
Dr. Scott and everybody who participated, all jokes aside, this was one of the most memorable experiences I ever had. And I recorded each session. And to be honest, those sessions that were recorded, you guys should put in your bank as far as Moaa is concerned, because there's a plethora of information and knowledge that each one of you give that I'm sure other members of Moaa could really utilize. So I take my hats off to you guys, and I'm gonna reach out to each one of you guys for permission to turn it into a podcast, because I'm trying to get some hits. But Dr. Scott, I do want to talk to you about actually producing that movie. Can you tell the people tell the people where that Make It Rain story comes from? Can you share with them?
I think, Renee, we're running out of time, aren't we? You got to put me on blast. Nah, the story comes from this, and I think a lot of y'all will appreciate and understand this. I was telling Corey, right? He said, you have a lot of degrees. And I said, yes, I've been very fortunate. And I said, you know, my PhD was probably the cheapest degree that I've got, because, you know, when you work at a college or university, a lot of times they'll pay the tuition and fees. And so Corey's like, oh, that's great. So you just had to pay the rest. And I said, yeah, as a point of principle, since it wasn't that expensive, I would go to the bursar's office and pay in cash, because I didn't want to put anything on a credit card or anything like that. And so that's how he took it and ran with it. Said, oh, you was over in there making it rain in the bursar's office. You see how a small truth can be stretched into something that's a little more elaborate, but you did well. I'm mad that you found a picture like that.
Well, I had to do some cut and pasting, but it came out the way I wanted it to come out. The last thing I'll say before I close, I ran over. I didn't get a chance to really get into to China, Miss Dr. Jude, to roast her really, but I will say this: she knows she looked good, and she ain't afraid to tell people. Because when I was asking her about who she was and everything, she just threw in there kind of real fast, but she wanted to make sure I heard it, that she got kids that are in their 30s, and she's got grandkids, and she was like, "Yeah, I got grandkids. I got 2, but you know, I look good though. You know what I'm saying? What was she said? she said what was that you said you eat? Oh, egg whites. She's like egg whites. She's like, I like egg whites. I eat egg whites. I take care of myself. I exercise every day. I don't eat all this fast food and stuff like that. However, when I went on to ask her about who she would have dinner with, meal with, and why, her answers were Jesus, Abraham Lincoln, and her mom, which is beautiful. And I understand that. I did tell her though that Abraham Lincoln might be uncomfortable sitting at the table with 3 people of color. But she said she said she'd make Abe feel comfortable, and I was happy about that. But when I asked her where she would take him to, this woman who was preaching to me about eating right, taking care of herself, and exercise every day, she gonna say a soul food restaurant. How you gonna take 2 black men soul food restaurant? She trying to make Jesus have a heart attack. What's wrong with her? You can't. I don't think you can be. You can't be resurrected from a heart attack. You can't be resurrected from that.
You know, you don't get meals like that often, so you have to take advantage of it.
Yeah, but no, this whole experience has been beautiful, and my hats off to Moaa organization. My hats off to every individual that's a part of it. But I hope you guys we laughed and learned something today. And I'm gonna leave you with this. One of the hardest jobs in the world is that of a comedian, because it's our job is to go into a place, a venue, a website, a strip club, a church, go into that place and make a room full of people laugh. And you don't know what that person or individual has been to. A lot of times I do shows and you have people who probably got into a fight, couples who got in a fight on the way to the comedy show and probably gonna get in the fight on the way back. But for that 1 hour or 1 hour and 90 minutes, it's our job to take people's mind off of that. And sometimes we don't always make people laugh, but if I can make one person smile, just one, maybe that will encourage that person to pay it forward and leave from there and go out and make somebody else smile. And if we do that, we can save the world. One smile at a time. It's one smile at a time. You guys have been great. Thank you so much.
Corey, before you sign off, if everybody could, if you take your microphones off mute and join me in giving Corey a round of applause. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I really do truly appreciate the applause and the love and the laugh you guys give me, but also appreciate that the check you guys sent me has been deposited and it cleared.
So we told them our money's good. We paying cash now. So you haven't learned.
I'm gonna make it rain this weekend.
I hope it's at the Bertar's office and not the other establishments you was talking about. But we'll leave that to you to sort out.
You know what? I got a young son who's 4 years old. I'm gonna take him to one of those establishments because I think that's a great place to teach a child about sex ed.
Church? You're talking about church?
Well, no, because you could not only at the club, the improper place that we talk about, not only can I teach them about sex, I can also teach them about budgeting.
Okay. We appreciate you, Corey. On that note,
I'm gonna stop.
No.
Doctor set it off. I can set it off too. That's Dr. Barnes' new name, y'all. From now on, she goes by the name of Dr. Set It Off. There you go.
Now, on a serious note, though, we really appreciate Corey taking his time to be with us. He did a lot of prep work for this. As I said, he spoke to all the board members of Moaa, which is a pretty large group. He did his homework on us individually as well as us as an organization. And just given all that we've been through this year, sometimes we need to be able to step back from the day-to-day and everything that we're doing to serve other people and be able to laugh at ourselves. And that's what today's session was about, was just to say thank you to everybody for being here, for what you've done for your student athletes and for your coaches and your staff this year, and just give you, 30 minutes to decompress. If you're like me right now, my cheeks hurt and I shed a tear. So we asked Corey to keep it pretty PG, and I think he did a pretty darn good job of that. So once again, Corey, we thank you. We appreciate you, and this was much needed for our entire group of professionals.
Thank you.
And then before we go any further, I'd like to turn it over to what I believe is one of the hardest working people in all of intercollegiate athletics, and a good friend, a mentor of mine to almost everybody in this Zoom room. I'd like to turn it over now to Mr. Stan Johnson.
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate it. I appreciate Corey. Thank you. You didn't say anything about me, and that's good. You get your the other part of your check, so that's a good thing. Look, I want to thank Ed and thank Corey for us today. We need to laugh because it helps us heal. It helps us heal, and we've had a lot of hurt this year, and laughter is something that will help us. Every year, this organization continues to meet the expectations and the dreams of the founding members that we hoped for back in 2000. And that's why I stick around, because it allows me, I always get excited about what we're going to see next. And thanks to Dr. Nene and Dr. Feelgood and Dr. Hall, the rest of those, and all the hardworking people in this process. I want to thank y'all for keep sharing. Members, they're creative, they're innovative, and we continue to grow. We continue to grow, and I want to continue to do that. I want you to keep sharing your ideas with me and other board members. Here are a few things that are new on the horizon for us, and we're going to be putting these out. And so I want to make sure that you see them and you know about them, and I'll talk a little bit about them. First up is our MEIN, which is the Minority Economic Inclusion Network. You see that, that is the new network that has been developed to connect minority vendors who produce products and services with Moaa members, and as well as others interested in this process. Second is our, you look for this to come out. Brian Blair and the SPD committee has worked on this very hard. Our goal is to provide an avenue for minority vendors to gain access to this multi-billion-dollar industry that we have in athletics. And so you'll look for this. This will be a linkage in the minority community for you to be able to access to find minority vendors. Right now, we've got over 85 vendors in that network. And so that'll be something that you can access and have your colleges and universities use that network and help minority vendors. Corey, you need to sign up. We can get you in there. We got a category for you. I don't know where we're going to put that on. We don't have strip clubs. So we don't in there. I can be a comedian too. So we can put that in there. The next thing up is our membership. I want to remind y'all that your membership, you need to renew. And right now you have an opportunity to renew at the rate that we cut for during COVID. And so until July 31st, you have that opportunity to be able to, what's wrong? Did somebody say something? We're gonna keep on being kind of funny tonight, you know that. Y'all get a cut rate. Okay, you can't get cut rates at the strip club. You get cut rates here. So you get it here from Moaa, and we will continue to be have our membership grow. Right now we had last year we ended with 937 members. We want to hit that 1,000 member mark, and we need for y'all to participate and continue to participate. So you'll get this cut rate until July 31st. Then it goes back up, and I collect. We go back up, it collects. I got to collect. So the next thing up will be the annual campaign. We will start our annual campaign in September, around September or during the fall. We want you to contribute. This helps us to provide funds for our professional development, our grants and our scholarships and all the other things that we do in Moaa. Your contributions. We have a 501c3, one of the few organizations in NACDA that are affiliated with NACDA that has a 501c3. So we need your help in that. And the last thing is this newest thing that we got coming up is the Moaa store. You will be able to go out and purchase Moaa gear. And these are just a few of the items out there. You can go out there now, and it's out there right now, Moaa items, that website down there. You can go out there and purchase these shirts. Equity, period. We want equity, period. That's what we want. Diversity in athletics, and of course the Moaa shirt, and then the other one. So please do those things. These are just some of the ideas. These inventions come from you. These are things that come from you, the membership. Your work on committees or conversations with board members is vital to helping Moaa be the best organization we can be. Thank you to all the committees and the board of directors and the individuals. Now I want to do something, and I want to bring and welcome our outgoing Moaa president, Dr. China Jude.
Thanks, Stan. Oh my goodness. So as you guys can see, there is so much happening in Moaa, and we look for your continued support. You know, it's been an honor to serve you. You know, I call myself now the pandemic president, and I wear that title as a badge of honor because this was a difficult year and some change. And I tell you what, everyone worked really hard to make sure that we stayed focused and meeting the mission of the organization. So we've accomplished a lot in 2 years, despite the challenges, but I hope that you know that I have and will still be working for the interests of Moaa and you, the members. And this organization is very near and dear to me. 15 years I've been in this organization, the longest relationship I've ever had in my life other than my blood relatives. So it really means a lot that each one of you have supported me in your own unique way leading up to this role of president. And I look forward to passing the torch to Dr. Ed Scott. I mean, Ed, I tell you what, you kept me on the straight and narrow. You've been the one who checked my ego at the door. You made sure that I was doing what was right for this organization and allowed me to look at things in a 360-degree angle as we move this organization forward. And I am so looking forward to watching you and seeing you and the incoming Vice President, Dr. Miles Payne, and the second Vice President, Tim Wise, and the rest of the executive committee lead the group. Just wanted to let everyone know how much I appreciate you, all of the committee members. Stan, Julie, you're the best, but it is time. Ed, do you have it? You have it? We're gonna pass the gavel to each other, and just wanted to wish you much success in your 2-year term.
Thank you very much, China. I appreciate you deeply. So, you ready?
Yeah, pass it like, oh, see that screensaver. That screensaver jacks it up a little bit.
That's all right. I got it. You passed it. It's official. But I do want to say this to China. She makes the joke about being the pandemic president, but I don't know anybody else who had to lead Moaa through probably such a difficult time in 2 ways. One, 100-year pandemic. So the only one on this Zoom room who's been through that before is Stan, because he's been around that long to see the first pandemic. And then in addition to that, everything that we're currently facing in society right now, with all the racial and the social injustice, China has been a mouthpiece for our organization. And I mean that with love. When we needed somebody to stand up and take the mantle and speak truth to power, China never cowered. She never relented. She always did what was right. And there was times where China and I had to have a lot of conversations in the parking lot when I'm leaving the office or at night, just to make sure that we were serving the membership in a way that we both felt the membership deserved to be served. And so I am proud to have been vice president with China. I think I've been on the board like 7 years now. So outside of my wife, China, this is my longest relationship with you as well. But we're very grateful, and we know China will always have our back, and she will always be there to support us. So on behalf of not only the board, the executive committee, but all 930 some odd members of Moaa, we just want to say thank you, and sincere thank you, China. And you deserve to be able to take a rest for a little bit. So thank you. And now we're not done yet. So we've passed the gavel. What I'll do is I'll just tell you about 3 or 4 things that are on the horizon for Moaa. And then we're going to turn it over to Natasha, if she's on, to be able to take us to the reception part. You heard Stan talk about the Minority Economic Inclusion Network. This is something that we've worked really hard as a board to get off the ground. We want to see minority vendors have the same access and opportunity as majority vendors. And so folks have asked me, what are my goals for Moaa as we move forward? So starting with the Minority Economic Inclusion Network, I like to put my goals out there. I think you have to speak things into existence. And so one of the goals that we have is not only to increase the number of vendors, which I believe, Stan, we're in the 80s now, almost 90 vendors. We're going to need your help to do that. And we're calling on all of our members to help us. But in addition to that, when we go to Las Vegas and when we go to Orlando, I want to be able to walk through that showroom and see minority vendors in there. That's how we will know we've made an impact. to give these individuals and their organizations the same opportunity that others have to be able to sell their goods and services. So that's the first thing. The Minority Economic Inclusion Network is going to be a big part of what we do moving forward. Number two, we're going to put together a public relations plan. I think we've learned that from working with China. We have a strategic plan, but in order to make that strategic plan come to life, we have to put the information out there for our membership to be able to consume, right? You need to know what we're doing, when we're doing it, and how we're doing it. And we want to be transparent in that. And so you will see a public relations plan from us, basically a monthly calendar where you can see where our webinars are going to be. So this way, you know how to be able to schedule, to be able to log on and take part of that. Number three, the Rising Stars program. This for me is probably one of my babies. If you know anything about me, if you've ever worked with me, I love to pour into people and I love to develop others, how others have developed me. And I believe that Moaa has one of the best programs for early career, and Stan has checked me on this, not entry level, but early career individuals. A lot of us have been through the Leadership Institute. Some of us have been through Pathways. Some of us have been through the D1 Institute, which is now Lead One. But we have to get our folks earlier in their career. We have to develop them. We have to give them the tools. And equally as important, we have to give them access to the network to be able to grow and develop. And so we are going to continue to pour into the Rising Stars program and continue to grow that program as a way to create a critical mass of early career employees to develop them so they can reach their goals and aspirations, as many of us have. And then last but not least is going to be our strategic partners. I remember when I joined Moaa about 7 years ago, we had 230 some odd members, and we now have almost 1,000. I told Stan when I took over the membership committee, my goal was to reach 1,000. The only way we can continue to fund this organization is one, through the membership that you all pay, which we dearly appreciate, but also is by procuring funds from outside sources. And so we have to be strategic in our philanthropy, but we also have to be strategic in who we partner with. We're seeing the Black AD Alliance, Minority Football Coaches Coalition. We're seeing all these other organizations pop up. And the beauty of Moaa is we've been around for almost 21 years now. And so folks are looking at us to lead the way, and that's what we plan on doing. We plan on being a resource for all these other organizations to be able to tie in to say, let's work together because we're all fighting for the same cause. So under my tenure over the next 2 years, I think that's what you can expect to see. I know it's somewhat ambitious, but if it wasn't ambitious, then why would we be in these roles? So I hope you'll support me. You'll continue to support our past presidents and our board as we try to move our agenda forward to make sure that your lives are better and you have the resources and guidance you need to do what you do on a daily basis. So with that being said, I think that's enough of the nuts and bolts for today. I'd like to turn it over to Natasha Renee if she's on. If not, I'll let you take it. And then Natasha will bring us up into our virtual reception.
All right, well, I am here. And I would like to say thank you, Ed. You know, you said that the goals are aggressive, but, you know, we have big, audacious goals, and I'm excited about that. I think I can speak on behalf of the board and the membership to say that we are really excited about where we are, the advancements that we've made, and where we're going. And I'd like to echo the sentiments of just thanking China. China, you have been a lighthouse for us and a really guiding post to us. And so we really appreciate your leadership. We're super excited for you and this new chapter that you've just opened. We're going to be celebrating and championing you as you go and make waves in the NFL. So again, thank you so much for your leadership, and know that you have hundreds of people behind you cheering you on. Like Ed said, we're going to continue on as far as balancing our evening. I hope that you've had a lot of laughs. We're going to have some music and games. We do have 4 theme rooms for you to enjoy and choose from. We have Name That Tune Old School, Name That Tune Hip Hop, Sports Jeopardy, and Sports Trivia. And before we shift on to those break rooms, we do want to take a moment to thank Nelson Mullins for sponsoring our virtual reception. Nelson Mullins is a diversified law firm headquartered in Columbia, South Carolina. with offices across the United States. They're known for assisting athletic departments in sponsorship, licensing, branding, media, and naming rights agreements. So we want to thank you. And I believe, Julie, do we have a video to show on behalf of Nelson Mullins?
Yep. Am I good to show it now?
Yes, you are.